Fellas, it's finally here. The SSR selector ticket that I've been pining for all this time has finally come. I claimed it from the mail already, so it's already in my inventory right here. And we have a choice of the 7 regular banner characters available to us for free. So in this video, I'll be going over which characters I would recommend for anyone to pick depending on the progress of their account. And before we get started, if there's any one of these characters that looks just really cool to you, or maybe just interesting in some sort of way, maybe their design, maybe their kit, maybe you just like their name, then go ahead and pick them. Remember, this game is all about your own enjoyment, and if you really like Drake, then go ahead and pick Drake. If you really like Manny, go ahead and pick Manny. If you really want more dupes of Jericho or we're getting a brand new character, then go ahead and pick Jericho, because your enjoyment of the game is far more important than whatever anyone else thinks. And before we begin, this video is not a tier list like a bunch of other content creators have made theirs. This video will just go over and compare each of these SSR characters and their supporting capabilities to each other, so that you can see the difference and see what supports you might actually want to help build your teams. Alright, so I made this chart right here, and it's not a tier list, so it won't be S tier at the top and D tier at the bottom. Instead, I have 2 columns, the universal section and the specific section. The specific section is for characters that prefer to be on teams that are specific elements. Lance Jericho specifically, she grants a barrier for your team, which is already pretty good, but she also improves cold damage by 20% and another 20% if a barrier is active. So on the left side, you'll see the flexible, offensive, and defensive rows. And flexible just means that they have the capacity to buff your team to do more damage, at the same time having the ability to heal or shield your team, making them optimal compared to the 4-star options, which may not have as big buffs or may not be able to heal or shield as much. The offensive row is for characters that help to amplify your damage, but they don't really have ways to preserve your HP. They might have a defensive buff here and there, but they won't be able to heal or shield you. And then in the defensive row, it's pretty much a support that doesn't really have abilities that will increase your damage, but they will be really good at keeping your team alive. And now when I look at this, if you want to know who I value the most, it would technically be King with the Grimoire, because he is flexible and he's also universal. King's Grimoire can grant you a barrier, heal you, make you take less damage, and boosts the damage an enemy takes. He does everything from keeping you alive and amplifying your damage. At the bottom of my quote unquote tier list would be Deanne with the Nunchaku, because she doesn't really help to amplify our damage, even though her defensive capabilities are really good, probably the best in the game. I feel like I value that less than doing more damage. Of course, as time goes by, maybe my stance on that will change, but as of right now, I don't feel like I need more survivability. I just feel like I want to do more damage. And I do value the universal side more than specific side, because even though King with the wand might be able to buff really, really well, it's locked to a specific element, meaning that you're locked to specific teams. Whereas Manny, Drake, and Elaine, their buffs are more universal and they can be used for many teams rather than 1 or 2 specific teams, which helps you save on resources. Just going over every single character now from top to bottom. It would be King of the Grimoire. Once again, he gives you barriers, he gives you heals, He decreases the damage you take, and he also increases the damage that enemies take. Once again, he does everything you would ever want. And going to the right side, we have Jericho, who grants you a barrier, increases cold damage by 20%, and increases cold damage by another 20% if a barrier is active. And she can also increase your defense, fire defense, and earth defense with her frozen breath buff. And she also has the ability to freeze an enemy. Next, I have Elaine with the Grimoire, grants a barrier, reduces damage taken, increases earth damage specifically, and also increases tag skill damage. She will also decrease earth burst resistance and petrify enemies at the same time. Just like Jericho, she does a lot, but she does a lot only for earth teams. And then moving on to Gila, she does a little bit less buffs than the previous two, which is why I have her on the rightmost, but she's still very flexible and very good. So Gila, with the sword and shield, she grants a barrier. She increases fire damage of your allies, and she also increases the fire damage taken by enemies. Okay, moving on to the second row, the offensive universal side. I have Manny first, because Manny does a lot of buffs. Manny will increase your ultimate move damage, your combined attack damage, your critical damage. She also increases your magic charge rate and resets normal skill cooldowns. That's a mechanic that is unique to Manny only, and which is why I also moved her to the leftmost. She'll also decrease enemies' elemental resist by 20%. So she does a lot of buffing, but she won't help you survive. She doesn't have a barrier and she won't have heals, but she is probably the best support while also being a universal support. And move on to Drake with the staff. He decreases enemy crit defense by 40%. He'll also decrease lightning resistance. He'll apply shock and paralysis. The three I just mentioned there probably aren't as great as the crit defense lowering, but because crits are kind of used for every single team, crit defense lowering is pretty universal, and I'm sure we'll see more and more value out of him as time goes by. Next, I have Elaine with the staff. She doesn't necessarily improve the damage you do directly, but she'll improve the damage you do because of her all elemental burst efficiency and all elemental burst resist down on enemies. And what this does is essentially it makes it so you can burst faster, and because you burst faster, you do damage sooner, and then technically you're doing higher DPS. She'll also decrease damage taken by 15% and also help you generate more magic points. Next, I have Wand on King. Wand on King is probably the best support for Earth teams. He gives increased Earth damage, increased defense, increases the attack of Earth heroes, increases the defense of Earth heroes, while also helping you generate your magic gauge. He's in a very similar situation with Elaine, where he's not able to heal you, he's not able to shield you, but his buffs are very strong, and he helps you with the magic gauge. Biggest issue is that he is locked to Earth teams. And then finally, Deanne at the bottom with the Nunchaku. She provides barriers, she provides heals, and honestly, she does it the best. If you want the best healer in the game, that's Deanne right there. And not to mention, she also debuffs enemies, decreases their attacks, decreases their movement speed, and decreases their earth resist. The decrease in attack is probably the most important one, because that, on top of the barriers and the healing, pretty much makes you immortal. You're so hard to kill. Maybe the abyss difficulty will prove me wrong. But I honestly, I haven't been able to test every single character because of how much resources it takes to build up everyone. Maybe in the future, I'll have a different opinion. But as of right now, if you want to know my personal choice, I'm actually going to go for Manny here. Even though I don't have King and I rate him higher, Manny provides a way to see the Book of Stars collectible thing. I forgot what it's called. But also, her buffs are just so good. Like I don't love healers that much in this game as of right now, but I do love the idea of Manny being a universal support that is able to be used on all of my future teams. So she'll be my go-to, and if I had to choose someone else afterwards, it would probably be either King or Elaine. I already have Drake, so I won't need another copy, but as of right now, my account doesn't have a copy of King, Manny, or Elaine. So right now, I'm just gonna pick it. SSR, selector, Manny, confirm. There it is, Manny SSR. Alright, and that's it. Hopefully I was able to help sway your decision in choosing the right character for your account, depending on their supporting capabilities. Thank you for watching.